My name is Addisu. Professionally, I am agriculturalist, and I have been working for the past 13 years in the Ethiopian Agricultural Research Institute at different positions. And currently now I am working in Ethio New Zealand Trade for Agriculture program as a spice service and aromatics coordinator. Okay, Intag, it has actually has 6 pillars, and so we are actually I am actually working on supporting these private sectors who are engaged in spice service and aromatic sectors, in both in productions, processing, and exporting. And so we provide, based on the 6 pillars, we provide different support for these private sectors. In terms of market linkage, in increasing of production and productivity, and in setting up of efficient outgrowth and contractual farming systems. And so far I have been visited actually, give technical assistance for more than 68 companies, and we did also farmer visits, company visits. So we provide both production, quality, marketing, processing. This is the kinds of actually support we are providing in throughout the value chain of spice herbs and aromatic sectors. Fasika is a small micro enterprise. Actually, it's owned by Ethiopian families, and it was established actually 24 years ago. And for the first time we met with Fasika, it's in year 2014, when the company actually faced a challenge on actually exporting of red peppers and chili to UK market. In that year actually the company has faced its export chili and powder was banned by UK government due to high levels of aflatoxin and ochratoxin. And so this company has approached actually me actually to get support. How can this company overcome and regain its market in the EU market, in the EU? So the first thing we have done with this company actually is first we have organized a trade mission to Holland. So we took Fasika as one of the delegates to see how the spice quality and processing has been handled in Europe. So this gives an insight for this company actually, to see how is the Europeans quality requirement and standard are stringent, and how are actually products should have to be handled. So based after we took this company for experience sharing and exposure visit to Holland, then what we have done actually, we analyze the product flow of the company. This means what kinds of products are she is using, from where these products are sourced, how do they are stored, how do they are processed, and what kind of technology she is using, and the packaging and everything. So after analyze all these product chart flows, we just identified what are the key areas of the value chains where aflatoxins contamination may start. So we found that the first of the aflatoxin infection start is actually from the raw materials that she is sourcing. Previously she was actually sourcing these red pepper and chili powders and hair spices from Mercato wholesalers and distributors. And in these wholesalers and distributors, the way of handling of the red peppers and the capsicum, the chilies, is not actually hygienic. And so because of this, with the moistures, the sanitations of the warehouse, because of this actually the aflatoxins starts. And besides actually, from the farmers, when it comes to this distributors and traders, a lot of middlemen and brokers have done actually water adulterations and quality deteriorations through adding of water. So we advise the first company actually. We advise as a first technical intervention for the companies actually to change its supply or sourcing of the raw materials. And then second, we identified in Ethiopian red peppers and Chile additional there are 20 different kinds of spices blended to red pepper powder. So we identified among these 21 different spices based on different research findings. We also actually tried to identify which of the spices would be infected by aflatoxin and ochratoxin. So we do the same kind of what we have done for red pepper in Chile. We have also advised the company to source directly from the farmers. And also for some of spices that are importing from abroad, for instance like nutmeg, cinnamons, these are some cloves. These are some of the spices which are not actually produced in Ethiopia, so the company is actually buying by importing from abroad. So we also advise the companies actually to change a new formula of blending. And then so once we have tried to actually change the raw material sourcing of the system of the company, then we tried actually to link this company to the smallholder farmers who are producing this red pepper and chilies. So we identified actually potential farmers who have the knowledge and technicals on producing with good agricultural practice and post-harvest handling. So we, among the 50 smallholder farmers, we found out that can potentially supply for Fasica. Then we took samples actually from each of the farmers, and we do the aflatoxin and ochratoxin analysis on one of the Ethio-Netherlands joint ventures laboratory place. And then we found that among the 50 model farmers, 10 of the farmers actually have we found out that their red pepper and capsicums are free from any aflatoxin and ochratoxin. So then she bought actually the red peppers and chilies directly from the farmers. So the issue of the risk of having contaminations of aflatoxin from the raw materials handled in this way. Then the second issue we found actually is actually the warehouse management. The warehouse management and the storage management system of the company that we have found is not safe. So what we have done actually is actually we develop a system for this company, one actually to differentiate between processing facility, raw material storage, and finished product storage mechanisms. Even in the raw material storing warehouse, we put traceabilities and codes where each farmers have a unique space, so that from each farmers when it comes they are handled in separately. So we know that if any kind of quality issue happen, we know that from which farm it has happened. Then with this the companies actually has overcome the problem of storage. And then when we see also on the product, actually the product previously has been stored with PP bags on the floor. So that's also due to some waters and humidities that happened on the storage. So that there was also a risk of contamination of aflatoxin and ochratoxin. So we advise also the companies actually to put pellet, so that it will be on the product will be stored on raised floor, so that the risk of contaminations during warehouse and storage will be solved. Then where the third actually risk of the contamination is during processing, and in processing the companies blend red peppers and capsicum with 21 different kinds of spices. So we also actually find out the source of some of the source of contaminations of the aflatoxin. So we also advise her to change some of these spices and to replace by another spices, so that she can don't lose the family's unique way of recipes of the chilies, and also producing safe aflatoxin, free from aflatoxin. Then the fourth phase we found out actually is, after processing, it is also during packing and storage of finished product. So in this regard, we also help the company, since before actually she buying the raw materials, we have already tested and we assured that the materials sourced from the smallholder farmers are free from any aflatoxin or ochratoxin. So then if any kind of contamination during storage and processing happen, what we have done actually before packing and exporting, we based on the EU standard, we advise the companies how to prepare sample for the laboratory. Then based on that, we have sent the result for the we have sent the samples for lab analysis to Beles, and then we have got also the same kind of result that her product is safe from aflatoxin. Then finally, the final stage that we have the company faced and we intervene actually is the challenge of the EU regulation, which was issued in December 2016. It stated that any spice product which has been actually exported to EU should have to a laboratory result stating free from any aflatoxin. Second, it also need a declaration from the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development. But in Ethiopian case, these kinds of assurance certificate will be given by the FMACA under the Ministry of Health. So this declaration, and when the cargo is sent and arrived to UK health board, they refused actually to accept the certification of assurance of the product by the FMACA. So we supported the companies by technically actually negotiating with the UK Port Health Office, so that to accept or to consider that the appropriate organization for giving such kinds of aflatoxin or health issues, food safety issues of certification is by FMACA. So we also sent the Ethiopian proclamations, which is clearly stating that the competent authority of providing this certificate is FMACA. So we support these companies. Finally, after 3 weeks of follow-up communications and negotiation, finally the container released and the company able to export its product to UK. Then now up to 2017, smoothly without any problems. Now the company already built strong linkage with these farmers, and it has able to actually export to Holland also now. So the main issue of the spice sector actually is quality. Ethiopian spice varieties, spice herbs and aromatic varieties, inherently they are competitive to international market and they are the best qualities. But the problem is due to poor post-harvest handling and inappropriate actually agronomy practice. The quality of the Ethiopian spices are actually still by far below than the world standard. That's why that is the main challenge. The second actually is the quality happens is during the value chains. Across the value chains is also one of the issues that will deteriorate the quality of Ethiopian spices. It's not only the agronomy production and post-harvest handling of the farmers. Some of the spices are produced and even appropriately handled at farmers levels. But when the brokers, the traders are collecting these spices, due to get unfair profit, they do adulterations, they do quality deteriorations like watering, adding inherent materials. This is blending with with the best quality with poor qualities, one origin to another origins. So because of this bad practice of the brokers and middlemen and illegal traders, the quality also deteriorates. So the second issue is actually the market. Market in terms of market informations, in terms of access to market linkage, in terms of actually market regulation. So these are the key issues that lack of any institutions, lack of systems, who are providing appropriate and up-to-date market informations, quality-based marketing prices. These are the issues actually related to the second major challenge of the spice sector. The third is actually production and productivity. Ethiopia, like India, we can call the spice land of Africa. So still we consume 85% of our production. So that means we only export 50% of our spices. So to increase our spice export, that means we need to actually increase production and productivity. So the average yield of especially the national average yield of spices, when you compare it to the world or other major spice producing countries, we are far below. So this is one of the issues, and this is related to actually with lack of improved varieties, appropriate and on-time agricultural inputs. It's because of the production is based on rain-fed. These are kind of the major issues related to actually production and productivity.